Dateline Kaifeng, 12th century. Panic on the streets. The air, usually thick with roasted chestnuts and incense, is now choked with fear. Merchants shout, clutching stacks of colorful paper notes, once fortunes, now worthless scraps. A silk trader hurls his cash box into the street. Notes with dragons and seals flutter into the mud. Crowds rush to government offices demanding answers. The doors are barred. Guards look away. This isn't just a bad day for business, it's a catastrophe. Imagine waking up to find every note in your wallet is suddenly worthless. That's the reality for the Song Dynasty. The world's first paper money system, Chinese ingenuity, implodes. The government printed so much, it lost all value. A financial crisis on a scale never seen before. Across the empire, chaos spreads. Ships idle in harbors. Captains refuse paper currency. Farmers who sold their harvests for notes can't buy a single bag of rice. Trust in the economy evaporates overnight. Barter returns. Chickens for sandals, grain for pots. A massive step backward. The government's leap of faith worked, until it didn't. Printing presses ran wild, and with every new note, the value of all others dropped. Now, the people pay the price for their government's folly. But is that the end of the story? Not a chance. The roots of this disaster go back to a much heavier problem. Before paper, there was metal. Lots of it. For centuries, China ran on copper coins, fine for noodles, but a nightmare for big deals. Imagine a merchant needing a caravan just to haul coins for a single transaction. Heavy, slow, and a magnet for thieves. The government struggled too, mining copper, minting coins, but demand always outpaced supply. Coin shortages threatened to halt trade. Even iron coins were tried, heavier, rust-prone, and impractical. Merchants couldn't move money easily, and the government couldn't make enough. The system was creaking at the seams. The Song Dynasty's booming economy was strangled by its own currency. It was like running a superhighway with horse carts. Something had to change. The stage was set for a revolutionary idea. Someone needed a lighter, faster way to represent value. They needed a shortcut, and they were about to find one. The solution didn't come from the emperor. It came from merchants. In Sichuan, clever traders set up deposit shops, the first banks. Merchants left heavy coins in the capital and received a paper IOU, beautiful, hard to forge, and easy to carry. This flying money could be redeemed for coins at another branch. Suddenly, trade was faster, safer, and booming. Trust was key. Deposit shops had to honor their notes, and merchants had to believe in them. Large, respected trading guilds issued these notes, staking their reputations. For a while, the private system worked beautifully. Merchants solved a problem the government couldn't. But the government was watching. They saw the power of flying money, and they wanted in. Soon, the rules of the game would change. The age of government paper money was about to begin. Government officials in Sichuan saw flying money's success and wanted control. Around 1024, the Song Dynasty outlawed private notes and claimed the right to issue paper currency. The world's first official, government-backed paper money was born, the jiaozi. Each note was a work of art, mulberry paper, intricate designs, and the red government seal. The seal was a promise. This paper could be exchanged for coins at any time. At first, people were wary. Paper felt flimsy compared to coins. But the government kept its promise. Anyone could swap jiaozi for copper. Confidence grew. Slowly, paper money became part of daily life. The system worked. The government had turned a private innovation into a tool of state power. Trade flourished, and the economy soared. But would the government resist the temptation to print more? The power to create money from nothing was too great to ignore. For now, the system held. But cracks would soon appear. The golden age of paper money had begun. But how long could it last? The answer would shape history. With government backing, paper money transformed China. Commerce exploded. Shopkeepers, farmers, and merchants all used lightweight notes. Markets thrived, Cities grew and goods from across the world filled the stalls. More people could participate in the economy than ever before. Urban culture blossomed. Tea houses, theaters, restaurants. The government paid soldiers and collected taxes with ease. Massive public works, canals, bridges, a postal service were funded. The Song Dynasty entered a golden age of science, culture, and economic power. Paper money was the engine behind it all. But what goes up must come down. The temptation to print more was always there. And soon, that temptation would prove irresistible. Trouble began quietly. The government promised Jiaozi notes could always be exchanged for coins. But war broke out. The treasury was empty. The solution? Print more money. At first, just a little extra. Then more and more. Old notes stayed in circulation. New ones flooded in. And the promise of coin exchange faded. The government had created fiat currency, money with value only because they said so. The printing presses became a magic money tree. Each crisis brought more printing. The number of notes exploded, but goods and services didn't. The value of each note thinned out, like adding water to soup. Inflation crept in, then galloped. The stage was set for disaster. The world's first paper money experiment was about to unravel. And the consequences would be dire. It started with whispers, merchants demanding more for goods if paid in paper. Inflation took hold, prices soared, savings vanished. Hyperinflation destroyed trust and wiped out lifetimes of work. Riots erupted. Markets fell silent. Trade collapsed. People reverted to barter, silver and silk. The advanced economy was thrown back in time. The Song Dynasty, weakened by chaos, fell to the Mongols. The Yuan Dynasty tried paper money again, and failed the same way. Overprinting led to more disaster. By the Ming Dynasty, paper money was abolished. China returned to silver. The great experiment was over. The lesson was clear. Trust is fragile, and printing money without restraint leads to ruin. The world would not forget. The story of paper money was far from over. Its legacy would echo for centuries, and the world would have to learn the lesson for itself. For nearly 5 centuries, China abandoned paper money. The memory of chaos and ruin lingered. Silver was seen as stability, real, tangible, valuable. But the story of China's experiment spread. Marco Polo marveled at paper money, writing about it in Europe. Europeans thought it was fantasy. Yet the idea planted a seed. While China turned away, the West began exploring credit, banking, and national debt. China's experience became a crucial case study, a warning and a lesson. Fiat currency could fuel growth, but also destruction. Trust alone is fragile. Print too much, and disaster follows. The world would have to learn this lesson the hard way. Would we? Today, the global economy runs on the same idea the Song Dynasty pioneered. Every dollar, euro, and yen is fiat money, valuable only because we trust it. We trust governments not to repeat China's mistakes. The temptation to print money remains as strong as ever. Our printing presses are digital, but the risks are the same. Quantitative easing, budget deficits, modern echoes of the Song Dynasty's dilemma. Central bankers know the history. They walk a tightrope. Too much money, and savings are destroyed. The story of the Jiaozi is a timeless warning. Money is a story of trust and temptation. The Chinese wrote the first chapter and saw it fall apart. No matter how advanced our systems, human nature doesn't change. And that's a lesson worth more than all the money in the world.